Welcome back, and today we're talking about Ascendance of a Bookworm, episode 21. So like always, let's just jump into it. So episode 21 is dealing with some heavy topics, and I notice a pattern where we compare this second half of the season, right, to the first half of the season and even season one. The tone is really different because, in the first season, we dealt with Mai learning how to read and teaching her dad how to read, creating shampoos or creating like ribbons and creating, happy stuff and really all around happiness. But in this season, especially a couple episodes ago, we started seeing a heavy tone to the story, right? We got to see the orphanage and how the kids are not being treated well and how they're not even being fed, and some of them are dying of hunger and stuff like that. Then this episode, we got the discussion of how mind could possibly be used as a tool for nobles to, make her have babies and stuff like that. Because again, we know that the nobles, their population is dwindling down. And this episode, we learn why. For somebody who has magical powers or magical talent, for them to have babies, they have to meet somebody who is pretty much has the same magical level as them. So all the nobles, since they can use magic to some extent, if they can't find somebody else to marry and have kids with that has the same level of magic, they won't be having kids. So that's why their population is dwindling down. That's why the blue robe priests are dwindling down. And I'm guessing eventually there's not going to be any more nobles, because when you have a lack of magical people that can use magic, the population is just going to go down. And I'm not sure if mine is going to be able to find a way to fix this. You know what I mean? But we're going to have to wait and see on that regard. And the head priest is trying to teach mine the way of noble society, their culture, because he sees what could potentially happen to mine. She mentioned a lot of nobles are going to be flocking over to her and want to marry her because of her magical talent, right? Because they want to be able to have babies, reproduce, and, increase that family line. And mine, of course, no woman wants to be a baby machine, right? That's not the way this thing works. There has to be some type of love and care and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure that's what mine wants. She wants to find somebody that she loves and wants to have baby with, not the other way around, not be picked by a random noble for him to choose how many babies mine is gonna have. I mean, that topic alone is really heavy, and the way they dealt with it, is definitely rough around the edges. I'm glad the head priest is trying to teach mine the way of, for her to become cultured in the noble society, so she can decide what she does with her own body and how she's gonna, pick her own husband and stuff like that. Like, nobody will be able to make that decision for her. So I'm definitely in the camp that the head priest is trying to help mine. I'm glad he is, because dang, that's some dark stuff that we're talking about mine. And remember, she's still a little girl, right? She's still not of age. So the fact that they're already thinking about this stuff is crazy. But then we also had to talk about what happened with Wilma, right? Because we learned that Wilma, she was forced or pretty much tricked into giving her flower away to a blue robe priest. So I'm starting to see a pattern here as well. It turns out that all the blue robes are really the cause of all these problems, right? Because no blue robe wanted to be the director of the orphanage and take care of the kids. Only the nobles are going to be the ones that are trying to make mine become a baby printing machine. I mean, that's just crazy. And on top of that, it was a blue robe who took advantage of Wilma. And we don't know to what extent they took that whole situation, right? I'm pretty sure we're going to deal with it next episode. So I'm really excited for it. And I want to know how mine is going to handle this, right? Because we know mine ain't going to take this just sitting down. No way, okay? She's going to do something about it. But it's definitely some heavy topics that we got in this episode. Now, let's talk about the other stuff, right? The minor stuff that happened in this episode. Because, again, we got two new retainers. We got Wilma and Rosaline. And we see that Rosaline, she has some type of attitude. And I really did not like that character when she showed up. I mean, she didn't want to listen to mine. She didn't want to listen to Fran, the head retainer from mine. I mean, she thought she was better than anybody else. And I'm kind of glad that mine put her in her place. You know what I mean? She's like, look, if you want to be my retainer, you're going to have to work and you're going to have to teach me and stuff like that. You can't just protect your hands and all that stuff. Like, I understand where you're coming from. Well, there is a system and this is how it's going to work. So we see some character development with Mine herself, right? Because if you remember again, a couple episodes ago, Mine was really reluctant to punish her retainers and stuff like that. She pretty much just let them do whatever they wanted to do, and that's not how it works. I'm really glad that Mine is, you know, pretty much fitting into her role as a noble or as a blue robe priest, because she's not a noble. And she's pretty much putting the retainers where they need to be. Like, look, you're going to pay attention or you're just going to go away. I'll send you back to the orphanage. No questions about it. So again, I really am loving her Mine right now and how she's able to handle all those situations. And then the fact that the head priest is also helping her, okay? Because the head priest, I think he's got some good plans, okay? I'm pretty sure he's gonna use Mine for his advantage. So can't wait for the next episode. So like always, let me know what you thought of this episode. Go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode.